I'm Gail Miller from Aged Care Explained. Welcome to my Aged Care Mythbuster series. Today we're busting aged care myth number 13, and it's that all aged care homes are the same. Fortunately, that's not true. And firstly, let me preface what I'm about to say by saying that thanks to the Aged Care Royal Commission, homes that don't meet the right standard are being closed. That's a really fortunate thing. Secondly, the aged care placement consultants that I refer my clients to will only list the homes that they would happily send their own parents to. That's a pretty good recommendation that they're going to be up to a good standard. When a placement consultant meets with a family, they need to know everything that's important to the person. What they need geographically, demographically, culturally, spiritually. What activities do they like? All sorts of things go into finding just the right home. For my mother-in-law, she grew up in the hills here in Adelaide, and she was determined that she was going to move out of her house that she didn't like, that she'd bought on a courtyard block, and buy a little farm in the hills and look after herself. We're not quite sure how she was going to do that, but that was her vision. So we knew that for her to be happy for this next chapter of her life, she had to be living somewhere in the hills. So we only looked at aged care homes in the hills. That was really important to her. As it was, we were able to get somewhere in the hills where she actually has a view from her room out over the ocean, the Adelaide airport, and over the city. An amazing view. She can see sunsets every night. She can also look out into the trees and see possums and koalas and birds and whatever. So she's in her element. It's the perfect place for her. Had we taken my mother-in-law and put her in a home at Campbelltown on the other side of Adelaide, it's the one that I'm thinking of is an Italian aged care home. She would have withered up and died. She doesn't speak Italian. She doesn't know anything about Italian culture or heritage. And she couldn't care two hoots about raised veggie gardens. Now, if you took one of the residents from Benet at Campbelltown and put them in my mother-in-law's aged care home, they would wither up and die. No one where my mother-in-law is speaks Italian. None of the residents and none of the staff. And they don't have raised veggie gardens outside. So though somebody from the Italian home being put there would be so devoid of anything that relates to their culture, it would be unkind to place them there. So not all homes are the same. The other thing a placement consultant will want to find out is who visits that person the most. If it's friends, chances are the friends are probably elderly, so making a decision on where to place someone according to where their friends are may not be the best decision, but which family members visit the most? And I had a situation where a family were looking at placement. 3 families from the south of Adelaide went in to see grandma or mum very often, and 1 family from the north of Adelaide would come once a month. That child wanted mum out that way because it was going to be more convenient for her. That didn't seem like a sensible decision because all of the other family was down south and they would go multiple times a week. So all of these things are really important to be looked at when somebody's facing the idea of going into residential aged care. As this will probably be their last home, we need to make sure it's good. We need to make sure that the activities are things that they're going to enjoy and that you'll have good memories of having visited them in a place that was really nice. Please stay tuned and we'll bust aged care myth number 14 very shortly.